too. So.
Let's see how this works.
Hi, welcome.
Hi,
Yay, there we are. How's the lighting and everything? Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right. Yeah. Phew. We just had to catch our breath. We had a UPS delivery and we were picking up some heavy boxes. So yeah, hi, welcome. We have a new computer. I think this looks so much better.
I think so.
I hope the volume's okay on it. Let me see.
Let me see. Yep.
Yep. So, I think the volume's good. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We're at episode number 13 of This Is So Not a Podcast. I'm Debbie and I own the shop here in Midlothian.
And I'm Erin, and the store manager. We're coming to you from Dances with Wool. I would hope you would have figured that out because you're on our channel. But we are a local yarn store located just outside the city of Richmond. In Central Virginia.
Yeah. So we're glad you're joining us today. We've had a month.
Yes.
So we were going to bring you up to date with what's going on with us in the last month. I think we both look at each other just about every day that we're here. We look, we're tired. And it's only February. We've been doing a lot since our January 25th. When was it? 20? Yeah, I think it was the
20. I don't know.
24th or
whatever. January. When we talked to you in January, whenever that was.
Yeah. So we've done a lot since then. So we have become a shacked dealership for spinning wheels and
weaving supplies.
And all the supplies. And you just put that live on our website yesterday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So all that's live. And so we're venturing into another phase of our shop, and we're excited to do that. And and we've also we're gearing up for our year-long knit along. It's too late to join, but we are gearing up for all of our classes.
Yes. So if you have, hello, Sandra, hi Angela. If you have signed up for the year-long knit along, if you pre-ordered a kit or if you paid the participation fee and signed up, you should have already gotten a welcome email with the link to get started up on Teachable, get yourself set up and watch the first couple of videos, just welcome and supplies, no instruction yet, but that should have happened already. So if you have not, if you've been sitting around wondering when the kickoff is going to be for this year-long knit along, please go check your spam filters, your junk mail, make sure nothing got filtered out that way. And if you still don't see an email, please do contact us so that we can make sure we have your email address correct in the system, because everything's going to come through email. But the actual kickoff is February 25th. That's when you will get your issue 1 of the exclusive year-long knit along newsletter.
And Erin's worked so hard on this. I mean, we are going through a new platform for our classes. We've restructured everything. Erin has worked so hard behind the scenes trying to get everything ready and up and going. She's been responsible for all the sales of the yarn, getting everybody signed up and getting this platform that we're using. So there's been a learning curve with that in addition to getting things uploaded and on. So but we're excited about the possibilities for this year. It's just another way we have managed to just kind of, I use that word so much, pivot, but just trying to include as many people. Since we have had COVID or had gone through these 2 years of COVID, we've realized that our reach and our audience is much broader than just the Richmond area. So this is just one way we're able to continue to welcome an audience outside of our local customers. And so it's been nice.
Outside of the country too. We have participants in Europe and Saudi Arabia, somebody who's stationed over there. So we're very excited.
Yeah, it's just another way that we're continuing to broaden our community and welcome people from outside of Richmond. So that's kind of been going on. Erin's been working on that. And then this last month, we, in addition to everything going on here in the new dealership with Shacked and getting all that, ready, which Erin has taken on the lion's share of that too. We've been trying to gear up for some exciting things going on this year and arranging new shows and, which you'll be hearing about coming up. But, and this has been, personally, I gotta say, this has been, I've been on the struggle bus.
I was about to say, you've had a lot going on outside the shop as well.
So to catch you up on that, my companion, Lucy, my 4-legged child, has gone through so much this month. And so and she's even been coming back to the shop. She had, first of all, she had cancer surgery for melanoma a few months ago. And then in January, late January, she tore her ACL New Year's Day, had surgery the end of January. And then a week after that surgery ended up with something called old dog vestibular disease, and had an event that mimics a stroke in every way, but it's very much like Meniere's in humans.
In her ear.
Yeah. And so she has lost her balance, and because of the surgery has lost all the muscle mass because she hasn't been able to walk in the back end. And so I've been carrying her basically for the last month and just carrying her around, but she's all good. She's my warrior. She's my, oh gosh, she's got a heart of a warrior. She just wants to go. She wants to get better. She wants to be better. She wants to do all the things she could do before. So she's really fighting to get better. And this is kind of funny. We have our first physical therapy appointment today. First time I've ever gone with a dog to physical therapy, but she has her first physical therapy appointment today. But anyway, I've been bringing her to the shop again. So she can't do a whole lot right now. She just kind of lays down and just watches everything going on. But if you do visit, give her some love when you see her. She's missed you.
Yes.
She hasn't been able to be here.
She's not
in the
been
last
happy
month.
not coming to the shop.
No, she hasn't. She enjoys coming, and she gives me that look that she's not happy with me if I try to get here without her. So I have been bringing her again. So please just, love on her when you see her. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started today.
Well, what are you wearing?
What am I wearing? Rhinebeck purchase back in October. I saw this yarn, and you've heard me talk about it on the last podcast. This yarn is the loop fiber, and it is the yin and yang yarn that I bought while I was in Rhinebeck. Yeah.
So this is really cool. We've talked about it a couple of times. Yeah. The colors it's marled yarn.
You can see it there. Yeah, it's a marled.
It's a 3-ply marled. There's an inverse of each of these colors. Debbie just went with 2 colors that were completely different from each other, but the colors do work inverse. So 2-ply, the inverse of this would be, instead of 2 plies of black and 1 ply of white, it'd be 2 plies of white, 1 ply of black. But Debbie picked a cool, but it's a cool marled. I love marled yarn.
So it was very easy to do. So this is the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. Everybody has done it.
I haven't done one yet.
No, but I've seen a bunch.
Yes, it's thousands and thousands of finished objects.
I was late getting on. Yeah, I was late jumping on this. But when I saw it at Rhinebeck, they had done it in the booth just like this with 2 colors. And I liked the look of it. And I have, Erin and I have talked about it, and I've talked about it with several customers. It's hard to know right now. I'm kind of experimenting with colors and things because I have let my hair go gray. I'm very fair skinned. I'm not sure. I think blues are still safe for me, but I'm not sure what other colors I can wear. So I just thought, well, let me try a little bit of this red.
You can't go wrong with black, white, and red.
No. So anyway, I know Sandy's on here, yes, and she was the one who was egging me on getting this, and she's going to deny it, but she did. She and I kind of bought it together. So anyway, I bought the black as the body, and it's very easy if you decide to do 2 colors, because when you get to this ribbed neck up here, it's just kind of a natural change to add that second color. And then I did the second color on the cuffs. Weekender is reverse stockinette. It has this visible faux seam down the front,
but it is knit in the round.
Bottom
up to the armhole, and then you do the back, and then you do the front, and then 3 needle bind off at the shoulders. Very simple construction.
Very nice, and very, I enjoy doing it. It was not difficult to do, and there are some new skills you'll learn with this. There is a Kitchener bind off, which is what they call a tubular
bind off,
which it's very
similar to a Kitchener.
And that was new for me. And and then what I love here, I love 3 needle bind offs, but this is reverse so that the seam does show. So it was a lot of fun to do. I'm really pleased with the outcome of it. It wears very much just like a loose sweatshirt, which I love. That's kind of the way I look. And Joyce Irby's on here. Joyce, look, I popped my collar. You'll be really proud of me for that. Yeah, so I've got my white shirt and my popped collar. So yeah, so I've really enjoyed it. So this is its debut wear today. I've just finished it last week. So I've really enjoyed it. All right, so what you wearing?
This is an old piece that I pulled out. This is called Zuzu's Petals, and Karina Spencer just recently updated this pattern. So it's got a really nice format now. This is a great pattern. This is one of those, it's a cowl. It's not actually a shawl, but it looks like a shawl. I love those kind of patterns.
I do too.
Because it just makes it very quick and easy to throw it on and very wearable. This pattern is actually written for 4 different weights of yarn. You can go from fingering all the way up to chunky, I think, or maybe even super bulky. I can't remember. But it's very, very adaptable. This is hand spun. This is some of my hand spun. I thought I would pull it out.
Was it a gradient hand spun?
So it's a gradient braid that I used a particular plying technique called chain plying on to maintain the colors. So that's what this is. I pulled it out because we were talking about becoming a shack dealership, and spinning classes have now joined our lineup in addition to our weaving classes. My first beginning spinning class is going on right now. There's another one that's been added to the calendar for later in the spring. So if you would like to get into spinning, we've got a beginning spinning 101 class up on the calendar.
And we're going to talk
about, going to be carrying more, spinning fiber and things are coming. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So I wanted to pull out and show you something that could easily, but you could easily do this with any kind of yarn. It doesn't have to be a gradient. There's all kinds of, again, this is another one of those patterns that millions of people have made. And so you can look on Ravelry and there's tons of different ideas for what to make it out of. But,
yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
Very nice. You're so talented. All righty. Oh, so another finished object, and I talked about it last
podcast, but you had forgot to bring it to
I forgot to bring it. So we've talked to you, and some of you might hear us say and not be familiar with our year-long knit-alongs. So our year-long knit-alongs, we advertise them in December for the coming year. I've just got to weave him in.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, I'm like, what is this editing of?
And the whole idea of a year-long knit-along is to introduce you to a skill or a series of skills that you don't have to know before going into the year-long knit-along, but we teach you these skills as we go through. And every year is something new. We've done color work, we've done steeking, we've done different lace techniques. We did
piecing garments.
Yeah, piecing garments. We've had so many. And this year, of course, it's closed for this year. We had our signups in January, but this year we're going into
brioche.
Yeah, into brioche. But last year it was all lace knitting, and not just lace knitting, but these circular shawls and beading. So it's finished. I finished it, a couple months ago, I guess. This is called the Even Star Shawl. This was our year-long knit-along last year. And there were so many techniques with this that I learned, just when you're knitting in these circular shawls, increasing the needle size as you go out, just because you want it to, to not bunch up, or you want it to lay flat, you want it to open wide. We learned how to block lace, which I didn't block this. I have to I had
But you could have.
But you could have. So anyway, I'm real proud of the result. My whole goal.
There's some beads in there.
Yeah, they're beads. We did beads. This was a light beading, but it could have been heavy beaded. But I love it. I did it. I knew I would never do anything like this again. So I forced myself actually to do it as a year-long knit-along. And I'm glad I did, because every month we were given some homework and I got through that homework, but I was free to knit on other things. So this was a labor of love. It was one I did as an heirloom piece to pass on to my children's, or to my grandchildren, so it can be worn at weddings or special events. So I'm real proud of this. So yes, I did finish it, and it just got blocked not too long ago. And
it turned out great.
It did. I still have to weave in ends, as you can see, but
yes, Sandy, we will link to the patterns, to everything we talk about after we're off live. You'll be able to find everything in the description box right down below the video, all the links, all the patterns, everything we talk about.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
up.
get it all linked for you.
Yep.
We will. So that is Even Star. So let's go to grip your FOs. Yeah.
My FOs because I have a problem.
Because this is a niblet. Isn't that amazing?
I have 2 teeny tiny gnomes.
So Erin has really gotten into gnome knitting. You're doing the Year of the Gnome,
I am doing Sarah Shira's Year of Gnomes Knit Along. This teeny tiny little guy is called Niblet. He's done on size 1 needles out of fingering weight yarn. I made 2 because my teenager requested a pair of gnome earrings. So
yeah, and this is not something she would have wanted to do 2 of normally.
Not normally.
Did you see how small they are? Can
teeny
you imagine?
tiny. So this is from the pattern No Fun, GNO, like gnome fun. So yes, Sarah likes puns. This is actually a great pattern if you've been seeing all the little gnomes and you think to yourself, oh, I'd like to make them, but obviously I'm not crazy. I don't want to make teeny tiny ones.
I know that's what
this pattern actually is written for 2 different yarn weights, worsted and fingering, and a variety of different gnome sizes. These are the simplest of the gnome design. So if you're thinking you might like to get into gnomes, you don't have to make teeny tiny ones. The worsted weight, larger size gnome out of that pattern stands like about this tall. So
which you have done too.
Yes. So it would be a good introduction to gnome knitting. But I am participating in Sarah's Year of Gnomes Knit Along. This is my February gnome, so itty bitty teeny tiny. First one, and I do have to tell you, I did kind of cackle to myself quite a bit when I made.
Yeah, I was going to say,
made the first one, and then it was like, oh yes, I definitely have to make. He's so tiny that his nose and his beard are embroidered on. They're not. I think it's trying to look at my face. They're not actually knitted. They're just, it's a tiny little French knot and some duplicate stitching.
Yeah, they are tiny.
So yes, so they're going to be a pair of earrings.
Adorable earrings.
Yes,
yeah.
She's quite tickled about. So that's my finished, and my thumb is not happy with me today, but that's okay. They were totally worth it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
teeny tiny little niblets. So that's my only finished object, because we know I don't finish things anymore unless they're like, gnomes the size of quarters.
Yeah, you've had a lot to do. Yeah. So as far as our whips are concerned, did want to share with you some of those. And last broadcast, I talked a little bit about. I have been.
Do you have your book or anything with you?
Yeah, I do. It's right here.
I'll hold the book up.
Thank you. I bought this book, which when I was in Edinburgh in 2018, I was introduced to Marie Wallen's work, gorgeous work. And I did buy some British breed wool at that time to make a cowl. I haven't done it yet. But this book came out probably late 2021, and it is some reimagined patterns. So she has renamed a few of them too. But these are some of her earlier works that she has reimagined and gone back and done some reworking of the pattern to bring them up, a little bit more current or
more modern,
maybe
and the
with
color
a little bit
palette.
more ease. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the book, and I have wanted to do a Marie Wallen pattern ever since Edinburgh. I have wanted to do it. Like I said, I didn't do the
bring it a little bit closer so you can see. So it's color work. She's doing the sweater on the cover.
Yeah. So I became familiar with. I ordered the book right after it came out, and then bought the British breed wool kit to do this. So
from Marie Wallen's website.
So this is actually I bought it from Woolly Thistle, who carries all the British breed yarns, and they carry a lot of Marie Wallen's things. So I have started it. I love color work, so this has not been a stretch for me. This is the beginning of it. With this type of British
Fair
Fair Isle
Isle.
knitting.
This is actual Fair Isle knitting. So
You're
all
only
Fair
carrying-
Isle knitting is stranded. Not all stranded color work is Fair Isle,
Yeah.
but this is actual
Mhm.
traditional Fair Isle. So 2 colors per row.
Yeah, only two, not long floats at all.
The patterns, these kind of patterns are very
so
traditional.
I'm at the bottom right now. I haven't gotten into the pretty, I call them the real pretty popping colors yet. But the kit came with all the British breed yarns. So you get these little 25-gram skeins of the British breed yarns. You're only carrying, like Erin said, 2 at a time. And yeah, so I am really enjoying it. Now, British breed yarn, I am not afraid of it. And I have actually loved knitting with it. It just has great stitch definition. It's great for Fair Isle.
Very sticky.
It is very sticky. It will soften up a little bit and bloom when I go to block it. This is going to be something I'm going to be working on for a long time.
But it's not superwash merino.
Nope.
But that's okay, because not all yarn needs to be superwash merino.
But I am determined that when the world opens up again, I'm going to go back to the UK and I am going to have a Mowry Wallen sweater to wear. And so this is I just love it. I mean, I just love it. And so I am so excited to continue. I mean, it's one of those things where I have committed myself to doing 2 rows a night.
And aren't you glad you pushed your way past the ribbing on the bottom on size 1 needle?
That was a size 1 needle, y'all. And I thought that would never end. It was one of those things where I kept going and I measure it and then I'd measure it again and it was less than what I measured it before. And
that's called the knitting black hole.
So anyway, I'm loving
this.
And so, like I said, you're going to see it evolve slowly over the next year. I will be doing like 2 rows
good right
a night.
there. Hold it kind of right there. You can see the patterning really. There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
That light's catching it nicely. You can see the patterning.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm really, really, really enjoying it. And thanks to one of the year-long knit-alongs that we did, I know I'm confident in how to carry my all over color work and how to carry my yarn, and to make that little pop of color there. Yeah. So anyway, that's that is and I didn't say the title. It's actually Aisling in the book, but it is another name.
Nigella. So if you look on, we'll link them. We'll link both the book and also the pattern on Ravelry is called Nigella.
Now, just FYI, the Nigella pattern on Ravelry, I don't know that one's been updated to the Aisling standards. Right. So if you want the true Aisling,
you're going to need to buy the book, and we'll link it so you can take a look at that.
And the nice thing about this, I will have to say, those of you who are afraid to buy a book like this, because I mean, this is all charts. The pattern, we laughed because the pattern is literally 1 page long. Everything is charted. And so, I mean,
with color work.
Yeah. And that's true. With color work, you don't need to have a lengthy, it just kind of tells you what to do next. But,
you passed.
Yeah, I think it did too. But it's not the pattern though. Okay. But, what I was going to show you, was that there are all these beautiful sweaters in here and you think, oh my gosh, but how in the world do I copy the charts on here? Do I, what I found is that she has in the back that if you've purchased the book, you can ask her for a PDF version of the book. So I got it within a couple days after the request, and she sent me the PDF version of the book, and I was able to put that into my knit companion, and I've got all my charts. So if you've ever wondered, always contact
sometimes there will be a download. You're right, Keisha. There'll be a download code in the book already. But yes, in this case, Marie just says, hey, it's no big deal. You want the PDFs, just contact me. Here's the email address and I'll send them to you.
So that's been really nice. So just FYI, if you think you want to do something like that, don't be afraid to buy the book thinking, I'll never be able to do the charts out of that book. Right. Just written as they are. She's got you covered there. Yep. All right. And so do you have
do you want just do all of yours?
I can.
Yeah.
I've been casting on.
Well, so have I. You're not going to. This is coming along. Yeah. Though. You're much further than you were.
Yeah. So this is the Midori, which I showed you last time.
Pullover by Harrisville Designs.
Now, and this is how it's turning
Look at how
out.
pretty. Look at
And you can see
how
those flecks
pretty.
of pink
Very
throughout. Let me
subtle
see
flecks
if I
of
can.
pink.
Yeah, very subtle. Not
Mhm.
much at all. But yep, I have got an inch to go, an inch and a half to go on
And
the
then the
body, and
ribbing.
then the ribbing.
Okay.
So yeah, so
And
that
there's
is coming
not, there's
along.
just, oh, there's lawn sleeves. There
Yeah,
are lawn sleeves.
They are long sleeves, and then you've got that detail on the cuff.
Mhm.
So let me just tell you about this though. This has been a very pleasurable knit. What can I say? You're on size 10 needles, and it's, so it's going really, really quickly. There's this tiny star stitch here. So you don't have
just a little bit of texture.
a little bit of texture. And these are just like, they call them dots, little dots here. And then another star stitch pattern. I will tell you, because Nikki, works here too, and she's doing it. And she was saying, look at the picture, Debbie. She said, on this picture, she doesn't have all the repeats that the pattern calls for. And she doesn't, which drives some people crazy when they look at a pattern and they really like it. And anyway, the model is wearing fewer repeats on that first run. So if
it's a different size than probably than what yours is. It just is the sizing?
Nope, it's
affect
not a size.
number of.
Nope.
Oh,
nope, it did not affect the number. We looked
they
at
just
that.
altered from the
She
sample.
just did not. Yeah, when they did the sample, they did not do the sample according to the pattern, evidently.
Well, they changed the pattern.
Yeah. So anyway, mine has the correct number according to the pattern up here. Just FYI, I'm just telling you that in case this is something you want to try. This has been a pleasurable knit. Nothing too difficult about it. It is from the top down. I'm going to love wearing it. I love this yarn. Again, this was a Rhinebeck purchase.
But it's DK. Pattern's written for DK.
For DK. So you could use any yarn. DK weight yarn. I think Scout would be a great sub. Great sub.
Or the Red Stag Fibers BFL.
Oh yeah,
DK we have in stock would also be really good for it. Would be a good choice.
Yeah, and we've got some gorgeous colors in
would
that
give really
Red
pretty
Stag.
stitch definition.
So that would be really nice for this. But that's been fun. And then the other thing I cast on, fingering weight,
held with a
mohair.
Oh, you just cast this on like last night.
I thought it was Calliope, but I was corrected. It's Calliope, and it is a Spas Trico pattern. It is free. Karen came in, one of our employees, wearing this, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I know it's an older pattern, but it is one. Let me see if I can do this one.
I feel like it's a free pattern.
So. Yeah, it's an older pattern, but it is one that I love. I love the I just love the design of it. It calls for 10 to 14 inches of positive ease.
Yes.
So I'm actually fell in the middle of the two sizes, so I'm going down. Mine will actually have 8 inches of positive ease.
That's plenty.
Yeah, it's plenty. These are my colors, which I am pretty sure are still my colors, even though my hair is going gray, or has gone gray. These are my colors. I'm holding a fingering weight with the mohair. This is
Shibui
Silk Cloud. Yeah, couldn't get the word out. And I just cast it on a couple days ago. So it's just in the beginning.
But that's going to be very pretty.
Yeah, so I should have this one pretty much well along by the next podcast.
It's got pretty large needles too. There's an 8, I think maybe.
This is a 8, 16 right now, and then I'm going to go to it's pretty large.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to get on a larger needle.
So, yeah, again, nice big needles make it go fast, even though it's fingering weight.
Yeah.
Held with that mohair.
Yeah. It's going to go to 7.
Okay.
It's on a 6 right now. It's going to go to a 7.
Yep. So not teeny tiny. Fingering weight doesn't always mean teeny tiny needles.
No, and it feels
only if you're making no smaller than a quarter.
Yeah. So if you like pairing your fingering weight with a mohair, this is a nice pattern. Yeah. So I'm excited about that one.
Yep.
So anyway, a lot of casting on and a lot of work.
That's what I do.
All right.
And we all know that's what I do. All right. So what am I working on? As Debbie said, I am in the thick of filming videos for the Year-Long Knit-Along. This is our first project. It is called Vintage Prim by Andrea Mowry. So I have, and so for those of you who selected the kit with Come On to My House and Pink Opal, this is what your hat will look like. So I am using the Come On to My House as my main color. I'm just working on the brim. It's brioche, so of course it's reversible. There's the other side. So yeah, so I just have the brim right now because what I do is I knit and then I film a video and then I knit and I film a video and back and forth and back and forth. So that is what's happening. I've got a little bit further to go on the brim and then I will begin this lovely patterning, which is just done with increases and decreases. Yes, I know, in brioche, but it's just increases and decreases. So that's the next set of videos that I need to film for that.
While you're getting the next one, we have a question about the download codes in the book.
No, it's a keys. I already talked. She was talking about this.
I just saw never mind.
That's all right. I got it. Okay, so, and then I'll talk about this one. I am continuing with my Ghost in the Orchard. I'm a little bit further along than the last time, so you can actually see some patterning now. There's my cables.
Oh, that's showing up real nicely.
Yeah. So cables. It's turning out nicely in seed stitch. This is also a Rhinebeck purchase for me. This is from Cece's Wool. This is farm yarn. This is naturally this color. This has not been dyed. It's a blend of, they raise a variety of sheep on their farm. So I think there's some, I can't remember anymore. There's about 4 or 5 different breeds of sheep that they blend into this really, really pretty brown yarn. So it's knitting up really, really gorgeous. I'm almost done with the first repeat of the cable chart. So it's 2 repeats of the cable chart and then I'll be to the armholes. So I'm looking forward to having this done. Hopefully.
It's also a very, it's one you can do too.
Yes.
You can add another repeat if you want it longer.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're doing it cropped because it's already, the pattern has it written to the appropriate place to crop
for you.
A sweater for me because I'm short. I am not tall. I don't have to sit on a pillow today though because we're on the couch.
No,
I was very excited.
That was one of the first things she said. I don't have to sit on a pillow.
That's one of the behind the scenes secrets about this podcast you don't know when we're sitting at the table. I have to sit on a pillow because I am so much shorter than Debbie that when we sit in chairs like that at the table, the camera can't focus on both of us because there's too much of a height difference. And then because I like to cast on things too, I have begun, this is called the Goat Cowl. This is a fairly new pattern by Laura Dobratz. And we got these kits in from Emma's Yarn last week.
Oh gosh.
Was it last week?
Yes.
So anyway, these kits came in and I said, oh, I want one of those. So I have cast on my Goat Cowl. So this is a marling pattern. You're holding 2 fingering weight yarns together and you start with 2 strands of the same color 1 up at the top. And then after a while, you go to 1 strand of color 1 and 1 strand of color 2, and then 1 strand of color 2 and 1 strand of color 3. And you keep working that way down the cowl. Just when you run out of one color, you add the next. So I'm on,
now's a good time to talk about.
I'm on color 4 of 7 right now.
Yeah. So these are using Emma's Yarn Practically Perfect Smalls. As we showed you the pattern.
Yep.
We do have some kits and
lots of kits. Not this particular colorway. Unfortunately, this one is sold out, but we have others. So it's just, there's 7 colors.
So she gives you the Practically Perfect Smalls that you, and she's already kitted them.
So you don't have to try to pick your colors.
Yeah, so you'll see how the marling will take place. Like Erin says, you're going to be holding 2 together until you run out of one color, and then you'll add the second color. And
so we have lots and lots of different options. These are on pretty big needles. It's on size 8s.
It's going to go fast.
So it does. It goes, this is just, probably 3 or 4 days worth of knitting, really, truly. So they do go fast. I love this one too.
Yeah, this one's pretty
too. Really did.
I'm holding it like this so you can really
I had a hard time picking between the kits. I do have to tell you. Yeah. I really, really went back and forth trying to figure out which one I wanted, but I didn't have anything in this color palette in my wardrobe already.
It's very pretty. So these are all on our website. I know we showed them to you fast, but they're all on our website under the Goat Cowl, under kits.
Yep, and we'll link to that.
And yeah, we'll link. But
it's very simple. It's just, you know, these little columns of knit stitches on a reverse stockinette stitch background. So the pattern has you purling, but you can, if you want, she tells you that you could absolutely, if you wanted to flip the tube inside out and do mostly knitting, you could do it that way. I just decided not to.
So when you do reverse stockinette, do you always do the purl side? I mean, do you always do it from the purl
No,
side?
usually I flip it. I cheat. It's not cheating. It's
No,
not cheating.
Because that's what I did for
Not
this.
cheating. It's just a different technique.
Yeah.
I normally would flip it inside out and knit it, but I try to, when something that I'm going to make is going to end up living in the shop as a sample, I try to follow the pattern exactly the way it's written. And I know my purl gauge is slightly different than my knit gauge. So I was, you know, good and followed the pattern. When I do it for me, I mod the heck out of things to make my life easier. But it's actually really, it's not though, honestly, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of purling, but this is not a big deal to purl. It's really a very pleasurable knit. The yarn feels great, especially doubled like this. And with the needles, it's fairly big. This is great TV.
Yeah,
Great TV
that's
knitting.
the way it was with the Kuma Cow, who's the same designer. And that's the way it was, that, you know, you've got enough to keep your interest because you're constantly changing the color.
Right.
So it really is. It
was
pleasurable
really
knitting.
very, very fun. And by the way, it's called Goat Cowl, GOAT, because greatest of all time. It's not, you know, there's no goats in the pattern or anything like that. Just in case you were, Debbie was like, why is it called the Goat? Greatest of
she
all
says
time.
right under it, greatest of all time.
So, but anyway, so that's what I'm working on.
So
what else are you going to cast on?
Well, as soon as Midori's finished, and it should be finished in a few days.
I was about to say, you should be done with that pretty soon here.
As soon as Midori's finished, I am casting on petite knits.
This is cool. Is this a new pattern?
It's called the Seal. It's pronounced, I did do the pronunciation because I didn't want to pronounce it wrong. It's called the Seal Pullover. And there it is right there. I have been wanting to do a vest. I want to get on that train, the vest train. And I really fell in love with this. I don't know. I had it in my favorites, but I don't think I've had it in my favorites for too long. Okay. I think it's fairly new. But I can go back and check. But yeah, so that is, I just like the fact I'm going to do a sweater without sleeves.
Without sleeves, guys. It's a sweater with no sleeves. You know how we all hate making sleeves? Here you go. Make a vest. You don't have to worry about sleeves.
And I am, of course, bought this yarn for something else. I've got a theme going, don't I? Blue.
It's okay. You've made a bunch of non-blue, so you can make blue sweaters again. You've done a bunch of non-blue.
I just thought this would show the detail. This is Amy's True Wash DK.
Yes.
Little Fox yarn. It's her True Wash DK. I bought it for another project. I decided not to do the project, so I'm repurposing the yarn to this one. And this will be my Seal Pullover by Petite Knits.
True Wash DK will be in the shop here.
Yeah, it will
probably
be
later
soon.
This spring. We will have the True Wash DK. So it is,
and it's wash
non-super wash.
Yeah,
it's a non-wash, 100% organic merino yarn, but it has been treated with a GOTS certified compound to improve its washability. Still can't throw it in the washing machine,
right?
But you also don't have to stress out quite so much, as long as you're not putting it in the washer and dryer. You don't need to stress about it felting or anything on you.
Now she has 2 strands of fingering held together for this.
That would be about it.
So that's why I decided just to go with my DK. But I'll be careful with my gauge. I'll make sure, because she calls for a different, she's calling for the 2 strands. And I think that's important, especially when you're using a yarn that is, or like she's saying, 2 fingerings held together, and I'm doing a DK, because I'm doing a different weight of yarn. I will make sure that my gauge is on. So it may,
if you want to do a fitted garment, you should always
do swap. Well, and I will tell you, I am so guilty of if it's got a lot of ease.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I do it too.
I did not do a gauge for this because I knew it was going to have a lot of ease, and I didn't. But I think the key word there is what you said. It's a fitted garment. So,
well, it's just a matter of, it's not absolutely it's not so required. There are no knitting police. Nobody's going to show up at your door and snap your knitting needles in half because you didn't do a gauge swatch.
No, but you will get an eye roll.
Well, no, you're only going to get an eye roll if then you come into the shop. No, not that I would roll my eyes at customers.
No.
Internal,
She will do it.
no, you all scold.
I will get an. I know.
What will happen is that I will point out that if you did not do a gauge swatch prior to making this entire garment, you had no warning that things were not necessarily going to fit, or that blocking would affect your gauge. That's the thing too. You making the gauge swatch is only half of the equation. If you don't then block the gauge swatch, you have no idea what your finished object's going to do when it hits the water or the steamer or whatever. So,
and this only has 4 inches of positive each, which makes it more in that fitted garment category. So it is important that I get that gauge swatch done, and I will do it.
Happy. You know that you're going to be happy, because otherwise you make a whole garment and then you're not happy.
And this I really want to look. I do.
Well, it's got a lot of texture, so you want to make sure that texture shows up the way that you think it's going to. And
so I'm excited about that one. That'll be a quick one. I tell you, I have a shawl. It's been sitting in the bag since Rhinebeck. I want to do it. I love the shawl, but for some reason I am just on this sweater kick right now, and I just want to knit all the sweaters. It's I will get that shawl done, but right now I'm just really wanting to do sweaters, and so we'll see. Yep. So that is my seal. All right, Erin.
Oh, so yes, I'm in year-long knit-along mode. And I will be probably. You're probably going to get sick. It's one reason why I'm doing the gnomes, because otherwise you would just see the same things over and over again for me for the next few months. I think for March, I might do a super bulky gnome. I might make a big one.
Oh, fun.
I think that's what I might do.
That would be fun.
I think that I have one of my game plans. I don't know whether I'm going to use this. There's another one that I'm thinking I might use for the big gnome. So I'm thinking I might do that. I might make a giant one with huge needles, and make him go fast.
I can't wait to see that one. Yeah, I can't wait to see that one. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Make him like a pillow, essentially.
That would be cool. All right, so what we still have going on
in the shop?
Yeah, we have our whole Knit and Caboodle trunk show still.
I'm gonna go get those. We didn't get. Talk to the people.
So, if you want to see what we have in the trunk show, the whole Knit and Caboodle is from New York. We met Margaret Terry when we were at the Perfect Blend Yarn Shop in Saugerties during our Rhinebeck weekend. And we scheduled a trunk show with her. Her yarns are beautiful. They're here through Saturday. So if you are not local, you can schedule a virtual event. At the top of our website, you'll see the link to schedule a virtual event, and we can shop with you virtually and, of course, mail that to you. If you are local, come on in and see it. If you want to see some of what she sent, you want to look back at our Facebook, which we did a live on Friday for that. And we also did an Instagram live. So you might want to check those 2 things out if you want to see all that she sent. And then, of course, like I said, come in and shop or schedule a virtual event. So we're glad to have her through the end. We've shown you the Goat Cowl kit. That's also new in shop. I do want to tell you about those. We got a message from the dyer, Emma's Yarn, this last week, that they are selling them like crazy. So once these are gone that we have left, we are trying to put in another order this week for them, but I don't know how long it'll be to get them. So those on our website, you might want to look at the colors that we have left. And if you're on the fence about whether or not to go ahead and get one, you might want to go ahead and push that button, because we don't know when we're going to get more. And Emma's Yarn, of course, we are a part of her Yarn of the Month Club. We are doing our Hella Hanks, and we get a color of the month. This is February. We still have a little bit of January.
So we still have a little bit of January left. This is February. The Hella Hanks are big skeins, 600 yards, 150 grams.
Great shawl.
Yes, great shawl, or for like a garment, because you would need fewer of them.
Which means fewer ends.
Which means fewer ends to weave in.
To weave in.
Or fewer things to try to alternate. This is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon base. So it feels really squishy and soft. Now, this is February. You're probably looking at that going, those are two different colorways.
Yeah.
It's not. This just shows you the variability of hand dye yarn. But we did notice when we opened the box that 4 of the skeins were very similar to this and the other 4 were very similar to that. So we have it listed on our website as dark versus light, just because we want to try to make sure people need multiple skeins for a project. We always do our best with hand dye yarns to pull as closely matching as we can. But of course, there's just going to be variability. But we've got the February, and then there are 3 complementing colors, including 2 which are very similar.
And these are part of their regular palette.
Part of their regular palette. So these were the 3 coordinating colors. This is Heavy Pour, After Dark, and this one on the end here is Barking Up the Wrong Tree. So this was the coordinating palette for February.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty. So that's all on the website. And so again, the February, the colors of each month are not re-dyed. They're not restocked. So if you really like it, I would recommend picking that up.
Yeah.
And March should be here in another
very soon.
Like couple of weeks.
Now they will decide at the end of the year which of those colors, those monthly colors, they're going to keep as part of the regular palette. They probably will not keep all, but they'll keep some.
They might keep
and
some.
then they'll rename them. So so this is really, you know, if you really like the color of the month, you might want to
jump on.
Yeah, because we don't know if we'll get that again.
Yep.
All right. And
new book.
Yeah.
In the shop.
A lot of buzz about this.
Yes. Knitting for Radical Self-Care by Brandy, Cheyenne, Harper. I had to double check what her last name was. So this is a great book. This comes to us from, no, it's not from, I thought it was from Pom Pom. Never mind. Sorry. I apologize. But this is a great book. This kind of is a very personal project for Brandy. Like a lot of us, she went through a big transition from 2020 and beyond in terms of just her personal life, what was going on. And so the book really kind of explores mindfulness in terms of how we connect to ourselves, how we connect to our communities around us, and then how knitting can be a part of that self-care and part of that mindfulness. So there's a section to begin the book about that. And then she's got a great section about all the different kind of techniques and things that she uses in the book. And then there are a bunch of patterns.
Yeah, we were looking at those.
So we were kind of trying to find.
Yeah, beautiful patterns.
Put this over the top here so I can just show you. This is called a lei.
And Erin was saying typically,
Gorgeous.
you know, the bulky weight yarn.
Brandy typically likes to design in heavier weight yarns, bulky, chunky, super bulky. Her pieces are very structural. There's a lot of interesting construction
really cool.
and techniques. So this one's called Dawn Cowl. So it's like a cowl with a hood that you can pull up. But that's kind of her signature style. And then there's one, on the back. I can't remember what the name of this one is. So there's a lot of great patterns. So so this is great. And the idea of, hey, if you look at all the designs that come out and you're like, that's great. That's fingering weight yarn on size 4 needles. I'm never going to make that. There's some great options, but it's a very interesting book. And if you follow Brandy on Instagram or anything, she's got a fabulous Instagram feed and all kinds of great thoughts in terms of how to put mindfulness into your knitting and how knitting can be an act of self-care.
It's a beautiful coffee table book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you are interested, that's on our website.
That's on our website. And the worsted book from Amy Gillet should be back in stock soon.
Yeah, there's a second publication coming, or a second edition
printing.
And we should have it. Our email said should be ready in February.
Well, it hit. I know on Friday, Lana Publishing said that the book had hit the warehouse from the printer. So we're hoping that it will be on its way to us this week from Finland, and that then we will hopefully have it for you. So Worsted is the publication by Amy Gillet of La Bien-Aimée.
And it flew out of here.
Yeah. All the patterns are in worsted weight. So again, there's a little bit of this kind of celebration now of, everything doesn't have to be fingering weight.
If you haven't seen the book, you may want to go into La Bien-Aimée's Instagram account. She's got some where she's revealed different
or
patterns.
Lana. You can go to
Lana too. But she's revealed different patterns from the book. And I don't know, I've had my eye on a couple of them. But I didn't buy the book because
sometimes we try to be good when things are flying out of here fast and not purchase things because we want customers to be able to buy them. But yes, I'm getting one out of the second.
Yeah, me too, because I've been wanting that book. We've talked to you a little bit about Shacked and how that's coming into the store. Keep an eye out on that on the website if you are a weaver, if you are a spinner.
Yes. So everything that Shacked, we can't order you anything that Shacked makes. Everything that Shacked makes is not on our website because it's a lot and we don't have the space on our website, frankly, for everything. But we do have quite a few things featured on our website that you can go take a look at. You can also go to Shack's website. We do have that linked from ours. You can go directly to there, look at their stuff. You do know that the way this is going to work, at least here now in the beginning, is that everything is going to be ordered for you and drop shipped to you directly from Shacked.
Easy peasy.
We do not have the space to have a lot of things in stock here at the store that we could just pull off the shelves and send directly. There are some things. We've got some accessories that will slowly increase over time. But things like, a floor loom, obviously I don't have here in the store that I could just pull off and send to you. But even like bulky plier flyers for your Shack spinning wheels, I don't have those here, but they will be drop shipped to you. So it explains on the website how it works. You do need to call us and we will take your order over the phone and then send things off to Shack. But it's all explained on the website. You can take a look at the different products. In terms of floor models, we have the Cricut Loom is here and set up for you to take a look at. Spinning wheels, we're hoping will be here. They have been hit hard by COVID over the last month or so. Like a lot of places, unfortunately, fell behind on their production schedules. So we're hoping in the next few weeks that spinning wheels and things will start to arrive.
We'll keep you posted. They've been really good about keeping us posted about the fact that they are having some issues right now with COVID hitting their factory. But so they told us it was about a 4-week delay, and that's been about 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. So we're hoping
to have those soon.
So that we'll have them in here for you to actually come and
try them out.
In person and spinning fiber. Like I said, it will begin to be carrying things like that. Will arrive over the next month or so. We'll begin to get some hand-dyed fibers in from some dyers that we already carry their yarn. So we're excited about that. So
and I will tell you, I am not an expert in spinning. So this has been just a new road for me to travel because Erin's been kind of leading the way with this, but I'm hoping to get some education in the spinning techniques to be able to answer questions. But in the meantime, once we get the spinning equipment in here, Erin works on Tuesdays and Wednesdays
and Fridays and sometimes other days, sometimes Thursdays and Saturdays.
And she is capable of and willing to show you the ropes with the spinning. I've taken a little crash course in the weaving and can show you how this loom works that we have. But and so I'm hoping to get more educated in it. And of course, we've got an expert here with spinning.
Absolutely. And we will. And so, like I said, classes, there are weaving classes on the calendar. The weaving classes for the spring quarter have gone up along with a lot of other classes. Not everything's up, but a lot of new classes are arriving and are up on our website for you to take a look at. There are still seats available as of right now here on February 14th. When I'm talking to you live on this podcast, there are still seats available in our beginning weaving classes. They usually fill pretty quickly because we can only have 4 students per class, and we share our wonderful teacher, Nicole Bunting, with the Virginia Visual Arts Center and VCU. And, so
Yeah.
She can only teach some often. Beginning spinning classes are also, the first one is, like I said, is underway, but the next session, if you would like to learn to begin spinning on a drop spindle, that is going to be in April, and that's also up and available for you.
And why don't you explain why? Because this was news to me about she was offering the drop spindle classes first. And the reason that if you're thinking about spinning, you might want to go down this route first. You want to.
So our beginning spinning classes are offered on a drop spindle. And the reason for that, well, first of all, because we can get the drop spindles from Shack a heck of a lot faster. Plus I can have multiple students. I can't have, we don't have the room to have 4 spinning wheels that live in the shop, and
No.
We don't have the ability to do that. We can with the looms because they're small, but we don't have the ability to have that kind of equipment available for you to borrow. But the other reason is that when you're learning to spinning, more so even than when you learn to knit or crochet, is all about muscle memory. And so when you're spinning on a drop spindle, it gives you a chance to learn about drafting and twist and plying and beginning to get the motions and build that muscle memory only with your hands. You don't have to treadle the spinning wheel with your feet. So you're not trying to coordinate your feet and your hands and learn how to do all this drafting and everything else at the same time. So there are plenty of people who always spin on spindles and just have a whole collection of spindles and don't ever make that, never step onto a wheel because they enjoy spindle spinning. And then there are plenty of people, of course, who learn to spin on a spinning wheel. But for our purposes, learning first on a drop spindle is the best way that we know how to do beginning spinning classes. If you do have a spinning wheel already and you would potentially like to learn how to spin on it or spin on it better, private spinning lessons will be added to the calendar eventually. I need to get the year-long knit-along launched first before I take on any private spinning students, but that will come. Just like you can book a private knitting lesson or crochet lesson, you will be book a private spinning lesson as we move through this year. That will get added, and that will be something that we can do. And if you purchase a spinning wheel, there is an add-on bundle that you can add where you do get some lessons and how to use the wheel. That is something that we can do.
We're trying to be very deliberate in the rollout of this, just because we want to do it right.
Yeah.
And we want to be, we want to be very intentional about the way we're doing it. We don't go back and say, oops, we made all these mistakes here and we need to go back to the wheel. No, we really want to be, I know it sounds sometimes like we're doing things very slowly with this, but it is all part of the plan, to be very intentional with how we're rolling this out, because it is important to us that we offer you a quality experience and exceptional experience when you are either buying a wheel or whether you're taking lessons with spinning or weaving. We want it to be exceptional. So it is intentional on our part to just do it very slowly. So
it's all coming along. So coming up, we actually have 2 trunk shows in March. One at the beginning and one at the end. We have Megs & Co. at the end.
Yeah, we do.
Yep. So we have 2 trunk shows coming up to you in March. Kim Dye's Yarn will be here March 4th through the 12th. We are excited to say not only she's sending yarn, but she's sending spinning fiber too. I'm so excited. For the first time, we'll have spinning fiber as part of a trunk show as well. So if you are a spinner, you're going to want to check that out. And then at the end of March, Megs & Co. is doing a trunk show, but we'll have a podcast in between. So we'll get a chance to talk a little bit more about
First time for Megs & Co. in store. So we're excited.
We're excited. And Kim Dye's Yarn, of course, is a favorite. She's out of Northern Virginia, so she's semi-local to us. And it's always a great show every year. So we're very excited.
Right. So we'll be getting that in. So, So also, as Erin's already mentioned, our spring classes, just keep in touch. We have not finished getting those all up yet.
Yeah, but there are quite a few that have gone up. So always be sure to check
them out.
The website and see if there's anything. Lots of great assortment of projects and things for the spring. New techniques, new stuff. There's like stuff we've never offered before is going up. So that's cool.
Yeah, Uta's got some things too that she's I haven't put her classes up yet, but she's got some really unusual things going on.
Hopefully by the end of the next week and a half, everything should be up.
Keyword there is shadow knitting, which I'd never heard of before. So you might want to check that out, YouTube it or whatever.
Very cool.
Check that out online because I'd never heard of it before, but she's going to be offering that class this spring. Soon to be up on the website.
Yes.
So again, follow us. That's the best way to keep up with all the news that's going on in the shop. We are Dances with Wool RVA on Instagram and Facebook. And so, you know, and subscribe to our newsletter. Again, if you go to our website and you hit that subscribe now, you'll get a newsletter in your inbox every Monday. We try not to inundate you. The only time you will receive a second email within the week is if we have an announcement for inclement weather or there's something that pretty quickly. You will receive also, if you have been shopping with us, you'll receive an email once a month about upcoming classes. And it's a way to keep in touch with what's going on. Just follow us and yeah,
It's fine.
okay.
Keep talking. Sorry.
We just got a pop-up going, you're unstable.
Yes.
Yes, we know that.
Well, we know that, but yes.
Oh, gosh.
So yes, so that's what we've got going on. Like Debbie said, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. If you don't already, subscribe to us here on YouTube. When you hit that subscribe button, you will get an alert when we go live or when new videos are posted. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up because that helps other people find the podcast. And so, yeah, absolutely. We've got some plans for this channel coming up later this year.
We do.
There are some other things coming. So if you don't already have that notification bell hit, you're probably going to want to, so that you know when new stuff goes up.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to come on and tell you what's going on with us and what's going on in the shop. And hopefully we will see you back here probably within another 3 to 4 weeks for another podcast, but we'll see you on our Facebook Live on our Inspire Me Friday. So stay tuned.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Joining you from Florida. Yay.